If you've been thinking about starting a side hustle that could be very profitable and have heard a little bit about print on demand, but still feel very lost about what to do and how to get started, this is the video for you. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to find an amazing niche, create a product and a design for one of the most profitable print on demand products. We are going to be walking through the complete process of selling t-shirts on a place like Amazon or Etsy. I'm going to first show you my top choice for a t-shirt to sell. There are so many out there on the market, so it's hard to know which one is worth actually selling. I'm going to take you through the whole niche research process, which tends to be one of the most overwhelming things, figuring out what is going to be profitable and what you can sell. And then we're going to be going through the design process, and I'm really going to demystify this and show you how you can make an amazing sellable design in under 5 minutes. So if that sounds interesting to you, keep watching. We're going to just jump right in. Now, the very first thing that you should do if you have never done this before is figure out what manufacturing partner you want to sell with. Now, a manufacturing partner in print on demand basically acts as the middleman between you and the platform you are selling on. Print on demand is such a low startup cost because you aren't directly making everything in your own home. So you are working with someone else who is printing, packing, storing, and shipping all of the items that you are listing. So it's essential that you pick someone who is priced really well, has amazing customer service, great turnaround time, that is going to keep your customers happy. Now, the production partner that I've worked with for a long time is called Printify. You may have heard of them before. Now, what I love about Printify is they truly have such a huge catalog of different products. Like I said, today we are going to be focusing on one of the basics, which is t-shirts, but as you grow your print on demand business, you're going to want to expand to other things, and they have so many different choices, all at an amazing price point. So I'm going to link down below how to get started on Printify, as well as video on how to integrate your Printify account with Etsy if you do want to do that. But first, let's just figure out which kind of t-shirt you should be selling in your shop. Now, there really are 3 of the main t-shirts that most of the time print on demand sellers are going to be selling. So you have your classic Gildan 5000 t-shirt right here. So this is kind of your standard t-shirt that you see a lot of things printed on, but there are also other options. Now, the 2 other most popular ones are going to be Comfort Colors as well as Bella and Canvas 3001. Now, a lot of people might think that, well, to be profitable, you really want to pick the lowest price item. So they're going to automatically go with this Gildan because you see it starts from $867 and even less if you have Printify Premium, which is a subscription that just lets you get up to 20% off on all of your items. But in my opinion, I sometimes like to opt for something that is a little bit higher quality, even if it costs a little bit more. I want my customers to be really satisfied, but still be conscientious of not spending too much on a t-shirt. So that's why I think that the Bella Canvas 3001 is really the sweet spot when it comes to selling t-shirts. What I found is they are really soft. Customers love how they feel, really nice quality. And there are tons of different colors to choose from for this. So we are going to be designing specifically for a Bella and Canvas 3001 t-shirt. So I'm going to click Start Designing here. Now, before we can go ahead and upload our design, there's 2 things we have to do. First, we're going to have to figure out what we actually want to create a design about. Now, this is the niche research process, which tends to be the most daunting. A lot of times new sellers, they just start creating things kind of out of stuff that they like, maybe other t-shirts that they've seen. But a lot of times this cannot be profitable because you are either creating in niches that are just way too saturated, there is so much competition, or you're creating things that maybe people are even really interested in purchasing. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can find really great niches. One of them is just to invest in some kind of research tool. There are tons of them on the market, but the ones that I regularly recommend are going to be Merch Informer and Sales Samurai. Now, those are going to give you a lot of the data on what is selling really well on Amazon and Etsy right now. So by sifting through that, you can kind of pinpoint what niches might be good for you to actually pursue. Now, the other way that a lot of times I find niches that are not as competitive is by doing something I call cross niching. So, this would entail taking a niche that is maybe really popular, so something like careers, and then you are going to cross it with something else that also can be really popular, but by combining those, you're creating something that is a little bit more specific. So one of the best examples of this and ways that I have really found I could make a lot of money is by taking something super popular like the teacher niche. Now, when I first got started, I really thought that this was just too hard of a niche to break into. It's so profitable, but I didn't even know how I could kind of get my items to rank at the top pages to get actual eyeballs on them and eventually make sales. But I figured out that by crossing the teacher niche with other things, I could really make a space for myself and actually start making a ton of profit in an otherwise saturated niche. So for example, I could make a teacher shirt crossed with a holiday like Halloween or 4th of July or Thanksgiving, and already that's going to have way less competition. But I'm going to show you a tool that I made for you guys. It's a completely free resource that is going to help you do this whole process with hundreds of niches. So if you've never used it before, you can actually download my free cross-niching guide. And basically what you do is exactly what I've been describing. There are going to be a ton of different categories. So everything from holidays to careers, hobbies, family relationships, different pet types, and you can use a lot of these niches and combine two of them together to create something that is actually going to be able to sell. So we're going to walk through this together and pick out some good niches to start designing our t-shirts. People that are teachers love to buy t-shirts and show off what they do. So we are going to pick the career of teacher, and then I want to cross that with hobbies. So let's go down here to the hobby page and start kind of thinking through what hobbies we could cross this with. Now, one hobby that has been so popular over the past year or so has been the sport pickleball. Now, pickleball by itself is again a really saturated niche. There are so many people making these kind of items, but by taking these two things and crossing them together, we have a true chance of actually standing out. So we are going to create our first design based off of that, but let's also pick a couple more hobbies that we can create other designs for as well. Now, scrapbooking could be a fabulous one, something like gardening. That is a popular hobby that a lot of teachers I'm sure do, but the one that I really like is actually going to be something like camping. I think we could make a really fun camping inspired teacher design. So that's going to be the second niche I'm going to make a t-shirt design for. And then the third one, let's do something a little bit that you wouldn't think of right away, but something like beer tasting. So even though people are teachers, when they are on their off hours, they have all sorts of different hobbies, and beer tasting could be a great one. Now, just for fun, let's pick one more kind of fun niche that you might not immediately think of. So one popular hobby for a lot of people is vacationing or just taking something like a cruise. So we can make a fun kind of teacher cruise vacation inspired design. So we have a lot of ideas to work with. Let's actually go over to our design suite and start working on those. My favorite design suite for creating print-on-demand designs is going to be Kittl. Now, what I love about Kittl is they are really easy to use if you're a beginner. So a lot of times you might not have the experience using something like Illustrator or Photoshop, but you can pick up something like Kittl so fast. But the thing that I truly love is they have so many amazing templates that are pretty much ready to use. You're just going to have to change out maybe what the text says, add a new image, and then you have a design pretty much ready to sell. So I'm actually going to look through their templates and see if we can create a design really fast from one of those. So one of the most important things that print-on-demand sellers need to understand is that a lot of times the more listings that you have means the more money you're going to make each month. So if you are spending hours and hours creating every single listing and design, that's not going to help you scale your business really fast. But if you can learn how to make amazing designs quickly, that is going to make such a difference in your business. So let's actually search through their templates here for something in that pickleball niche. All right, so right away, they have some amazing pickleball options. This one is really cute, kind of with that cartoon looking guy. And we would change out maybe some of the colors and what this says. This one is a great one. Let's see here. Actually, I really like this design. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Now, sometimes what I like to do when I am doing something like making a teacher design and crossing it with a bunch of other things, I kind of like to think of a phrase or something that could go with a lot of those different niches and work well. So the phrase that I kind of came up with is just teacher off duty. And no matter what kind of hobby we are working with, that phrase works perfectly. So I'm going to change this to say something like teacher off duty and do the same thing for those other niches we talked about. So right away, I know I only need 2 lines of text. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those. And then I'm just going to change this to say teacher. And then I'm going to make it a little bit smaller just so it fits better here. So over in the right hand side, I'm just resizing that. And then where it says pickleball, I'm going to change that to off duty. Then I'm going to get rid of this kiddo thing. Now already this is looking really good. So we could stop here, or we could kind of continue working on this and just add a little bit more of our own touch to it. So I'm going to resize this off duty here. I think that would look better filling up a lot more of the canvas. And then I'm going to go over here to the lower right hand side and click on the layers. And then I'm going to change this background color here. I think that I might actually do this on something like a white color. I think that that could look really bright and sharp. You could see that well. And then I think I might actually change this text color to something else. So let's see here. Maybe even like this pink type color. And then to kind of go along with that, I might change this ball color to that same pink one to kind of make it coordinate. And then this background color I might change as well. You know, I think I actually still like that to be that yellow color, so I'm going to change that back. And then I think I'm actually going to change this background color to a little more pink. All right, and that is looking super cute. Now, if you want a better idea of how this will look on an actual t-shirt, you can go up to the Kill Mockup section. They have a bunch of mockups that if you have a subscription, you can use all of these. So let's see how that's looking. All right, I think that is looking pretty cute. So I'm going to go back to the editor and we're going to go ahead and download this. So I'm going to click download, and then I want to make sure that this is going to be at least 4,500 by 5,400 pixels. So I'm going to change this. So that is just going to make our quality high enough. And then you can go ahead and change the DPI as well. But as long as your pixels are the right amount, the DPI is not going to matter. And then we're going to go ahead and remove the background and download that. And we have a design ready to use in just a couple minutes. So let's go back over to the templates and see if we can find something for that camping niche. All right, so again, I'm just gonna go ahead and search up camping. Okay, there are so many awesome templates here. If we wanted to do something like van camping, we could do the teacher off duty right here. That would be cute. This little coffee one is awesome. Ooh, I actually really like kind of just this plain blue. I think that could be super fun. So let's work with this one. Again, I'm gonna have it say teacher off duty. And I think because this one is pretty much ready to go, it's just going to take us a couple of seconds to change everything. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is click layers, and then this one has kind of a texture applied to it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that texture. Personally, I just find that that does not print very well on t-shirts, so I like to not use that. Now I'm going to get rid of this kiddo apparel and just change this nature to say teacher. All right, I'm going to make this one actually a little bit bigger here, kind of play around with that sizing. Okay. And then I'm going to put off duty down here in this cursive. Now already that's looking really good. Now I'm going to just resize this to take up a lot more of this canvas and be closer to the top. So let's make it take up as much space as we can. A lot of times for selling print on demand, the bigger, the better. You want it to be able to be seen in thumbnails. So if you can make sure it can be read, that's always really good to think about. Now let's go over to the mockups and just see what this is going to look like. All right, that is looking really good. So we're going to download that the exact same way. So I'm going to click download, and then the pixels look good here. We can change the DPI. remove the background, and then download that. Now let's go back and find our next design. Now I think the next one I want to create is maybe something for that cruising niche. So I'm actually going to look up cruise and see what they have. If there's nothing for cruise that we like, we could even look up something like vacation or beach, and those could work. Let's see here. Ooh, I really like this one. It's for a bachelorette right now, but we definitely can change that. This is cute as well. This is a great one, but I think I like this right here. All right, so I'm going to change this bachelorette to say teacher. And then I'm going to get rid of this and put off duty right here. All right, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and resize this. Make this even bigger here. And just kind of move these around until everything fits and looks good. Make these trees bigger. All right, and so right now it's kind of transformed and distorted into a circle, but I'm actually going to see if I can kind of do a custom distort. So let's see here. All right, I like that a little bit more subtle. So let's go ahead and preview that in a mockup and then download it if it looks good, right? That looks really cute. So I think we are ready to download. Now we're just gonna do the exact same thing. Make sure it's enough pixels wide, change that DPI, and then remove the background to download. All right, now let's go back over to Printify to start actually uploading some of these designs. All right, so back on that design area in Printify, I'm gonna go over to where it says uploads, and I am just going to upload that from my device here. All right, so that is looking cute, and I am just going to make sure this takes up as much canvas as possible. All right, and right here, we can preview that and make sure it's looking good. All right, that placement looks great. You could even see how it would look in a mock-up kind of hanging like that. Now, another thing we can do is we could add another color as well. So since this kind of has those pinks in it, I might actually want to put it on a light pink shirt. I think that could be really cute. So let's go ahead and preview that one as well. Actually really like that, so I might make that the actual mock-up photo. Now we're gonna go ahead and push save product. And this is where we start actually creating our listing for Etsy. Now I have this integrated with my Etsy account, so you're gonna need to make sure and do that ahead of time. But what I'm gonna start doing is adding the title here. Now, I like to try to put the most important keywords at the beginning of the title. So someone might not necessarily be looking specifically for the phrase teacher off duty, but they might be searching something like pickleball teacher t-shirt or pickleball teacher gift. So I want to start with that before I actually put what is on my t-shirt. All right, so I changed that to say pickleball teacher shirt for women, and then included some other keywords that I want to try and rank for. So making sure to include things like gift and the variants of t-shirt, tee, and shirt. Now in the description, I want to, in plain text, kind of in sentence format, include some of those keywords, but not make it just seem like I'm stuffing those in there. So I'll show you what I mean here with an example. So I just put a couple sentences that said, this is the best teacher gift for teachers who love to play pickleball. This pickleball teacher shirt is a great tee for back to school or funny women teachers. So it can sound a little bit clunky, but it is a true sentence. And then I went ahead and I just kept all of the descriptive information that is included already on Printify. Now down here, we're going to adjust the pricing. So I'm going to go ahead and select all and edit that price. Now, if you're charging shipping, you can price a little bit lower. If you are going to include free shipping, then you're going to need to factor that into your price. But I'm going to go ahead and just put $21.99 on these, and that adjusts all the prices here. Now we're going to go ahead and push publish, and that is going to push it over to our Etsy store. All right, so this has turned to green, so that lets us know that it's completely published to our Etsy shop. So let's go over to our dashboard and start editing it a little bit more. All right, so you can see this is showing up in our listings, but it still kind of has that generic mockup. It's looking a little bit plain. So we're gonna click this gear icon and just push edit. Now, one of the first things that I like to do, and if you do nothing else to your listings, you should be changing the mockup photo. Now, this is just plain, and it's not really going to catch anyone's attention when they are scrolling through a place like Etsy. So I'm actually going to create a unique mockup to use for this. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. Now I am over in my Placeit account, which if you've never heard of Placeit before, they are another great print on demand tool. But one of the things that I use them for the most is going to be creating mockups really easily. So I'm going to go over to their mockup section under apparel and just go to their t-shirt section. Now, I personally like to use mockups with people in them. I find that those get the most clicks and sell better for me, but you can always experiment for your own shop as well. So I'm just going to look through here until I find a model that I really like, and I'm going to use her. All right, I really like this right here. And when you click on one that you like, it's going to give you some similar options. So say you like this, but you didn't love all the greenery, you could do this one as well. So I might actually click that. Now I'm going to go ahead and push edit. All right, so when we get here, I am going to push design and I'm going to push upload from my device here. All right, now once I've selected it, I'm going to go ahead and just adjust the sizing, make sure that looks good, and then crop that. Now I could either do this white one, or if I wanted to change it to that light pink color, I could do that as well, which I think I might. And then I'm gonna go ahead and click download. Now this is oriented, so it's a little bit big for the actual Etsy thumbnail area, but I'm gonna show you right now how you can crop that and resize it to be the perfect size for Etsy. So I'm just going to click this cropper right here. And then the pixels that I like is 2700 by 2025. Now that's the perfect size for Etsy. And I'm just going to resize this until it takes up most of this space here. Now, I really don't like to have faces. I think it's distracting for customers, so I'm going to crop it just like that. Then once it's done loading, we click download. Now let's go back over to Etsy and add that. All right, so I went ahead and uploaded that photo and I'm going to add it to be the primary one. All right, and I'm actually going to keep both of these as well, just so that shoppers can get a true idea of the placement and the coloring. Now we already edited our description and title. The next thing that we want to do is we're going to add in some tags. Now, I recommend using all 13 of these tags, and what I would do is add any relevant keywords that you think someone might be searching for. So something like pickleball t-shirt or teacher hobbies, pickleball teacher shirt. All right, so I added a few of those, but you definitely want to use all 13. And then make sure your returns and exchanges is set up how you like it. I have it default to no returns or exchanges. And then you want to put it in the shop section where you think it should go. So if you don't have one that fits, you could do something like funny teacher shirts or even something like pickleball shirts and put it wherever that fits. But I definitely suggest adding a section. So I'm actually going to do funny teacher and save that. Now, if you want to feature it, you can click that here. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and enroll it in Etsy ads. Now for the renewal options, this means that the listing is going to be up in your shop until October. But once that date comes around, the listing is either going to expire or it's going to automatically renew. So a lot of times I don't like to have it automatically renew because if there is a problem with the listing, I like to kind of adjust that if it hasn't made any sales in the next few months. So I'm gonna keep that as is and just publish those changes. All right, now we see our listing is updated and we can even click view on Etsy right here. And we see all of our updates, our title, and our description. Now, you are going to do the exact same thing with those other two designs that we created, but I hope this just gives you the basic framework of how you can find really great niches and make designs in just a couple minutes. Now, if you've never created an account on Kittl before, I can't recommend them enough. I'm going to have all of their information linked down below so you can get started with them. And if you want even more design ideas or want to know how to design even faster, I highly recommend watching this video next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.